Hi, everybody, or whoever stumbles upon this. So, as I said in my last video, I've been in me Facebook comments, in regrettable places, and by regrettable places, I mean the comment section of Daily Wire. I do it so that hopefully you don't have to do it yourself. And, man, some people have a real messed up view of what is right and what is wrong. I just spent a good 30 minutes going back and forth with several people on a comment thread that I started. Daily Wire shared a post saying, "Thank goodness a judge allowed the Seattle police to keep their pepper spray." Well, I said was, that is excellent. I'm so glad they're able to keep that. Hopefully they can use that instead of tear gas, because that's a war crime, which it is according to the Geneva Protocol of 1925. It's a war crime. And I got several people saying, well, they deserve it, or oh, they're looters and rioters, yada yada. And nobody ever really comes back to to when I reply to them and say, hey, so you're saying that because they are criminals, they deserve to have war crimes committed against them? Most people just get real quiet, or they deflect. Or they say, well, we have to do crowd control, yada yada. And I'm like, okay, so you want war crimes to happen against American people on American soil. And generally they get calmed down. But apparently, some people who are conservative, don't forget, conservatives are the small government people that are terrified that the government's going to come get them. Don't forget that. There was one guy who actually commented back at that and said, yeah, they should do that. In fact, I wish they were shot dead in the street. Legitimately. A man said that. And I'm not sure if I've ever heard a more evil thing just be openly spoken. It's absolutely insane to think that somebody just says, yeah, they don't even deserve America. They don't deserve their rights as Americans. Let's just shoot them in the streets. Which gets at another issue, that you shouldn't have to be an American citizen to not get shot in the streets. But put that aside. And even put aside the fact that most people are protesters, not rioters, that this is happening to. But even put that aside. It's disgusting to see anybody advocate for anybody just getting shot in the streets. Blatantly unconstitutional. You don't care about the Fourth Amendment. You don't care about the Constitution if you say that. And if you're advocating for ignoring the Constitution and for shooting people in the streets, you are the threat to American democracy. I don't care what side you're on, left, right, up, down, diagonal. If that's what you're advocating for, you are the problem. Full stop. Period. Like, at least with the tear gas thing, which I don't think is debatable, but I mean, at least it's not killing a bunch of people. And he's just saying, oh, let's just grab the machine guns, fire away at him. And you know what's the only thing that stopped him? When I said, well, what would Jesus do? Well, I didn't quite say it like that. I said, well, show me where Jesus would have condemned the criminals to death. He who is blameless shall cast the first stone, right? And was it Jesus who said to his criminals to his left and right as he was getting crucified, oh, good thing you're on here, you deserve to die? It's not what he said. He forgave them. And he wished them well. It truly is terrifying that the only way to get somebody like that to stop and think about what they're doing is to not even advocate, just to point to a book. Sure, it's a good book, but the only way to get somebody in America to not advocate for people dying in the streets is to point to a book. It's disgusting. That was the only thing got him stopped. He said point with the prayer emoji. I'm like, well, clearly somebody never listened in church, because they don't know what Jesus would have said. It's a real shame. And I hope that we can do better as a society than just than having to point to a book to keep us from murdering each other, even if we disagree with each other. Even if the person is a criminal, because he was saying George Floyd is a scum, he deserved to die. I'm not feel sorry for him. Good thing he's dead. It's disgusting. And if faith is the only thing that's keeping people from actually acting on that or truly advocating for the government to be like that, I guess it's a damn good thing we're a Christian nation, because we're not a decent one. Right, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.